guys, to Versus, where we discuss books versus movie, books versus the TV show, vice versa, etc., etc. I've always wanted to do a channel like this. I've always been a big reader, but obviously in 2020, really hunkered down. We had more time. We're on lockdown. You guys know all of that. And so it forced me to really read and have just time on my hands to check new books out, books that people recommended in Facebook groups or recommended to me on Instagram in the comments, or just friends that recommended me of books that they were checking out. And in total, I got to read 60 books last year, which is wow. I don't think I've read 60 books in that time span ever. I've been a reader, just not back to back, just not 10 in a month or 5 in a month. So that was a new experience for me, and I find that I actually really enjoy it. I also started doing this year a Pop Sugar Reading Challenge for 2021. They've had past challenges. This is the first one that I've attempted because it seems very difficult. But it takes you out of your comfort zone, and it makes you read stuff and find stuff that you wouldn't normally read. I like to read YA or horror books, romance, but not cheesy romance. I don't even know if there's not a cheesy romance, but you know what I'm trying to say. And it really forces you to get into that mode and read things that are you wouldn't normally read. I found that I started to read books that I had seen the shows to or the movies to, and started to pick up on those differences, and you're just wow, this could be a thing. So here we are, Versus. One of the books that I had to read for the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge, which is I didn't have to read, but I put it into that prompt, was Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. It was a book that came out in 2011. Follows a guy named Wade and his experience through the Oasis. So the Oasis is a world, interactive world, think VR, created by James Halliday, and it's immersive. He lives this world. But there are vast differences. The book shows you Wade's school life. It shows you it takes you into that challenge that James Halliday is doing. So James Halliday had passed away, and he leaves behind this one last big challenge where whoever wins basically all of his fortune and part ownership in the Oasis. They have the control. If they wanted to delete it, they could even do that. Yikes. So he sets that up. He sets a series of challenges. James Halliday is a big 80s lover, so it's all about 80s movies, on games and books and quotes and things of that nature. And that's basically what Ready Player One is about. The movie. So the movie is vastly different. Wade in the book is, I hate to say it, he's very stereotypical fat nerd. He's fat. He mentions that a lot because he's very self-deprecating in the book. The book is so dark compared to the movie. The movie was directed by Steven Spielberg, and Steven Spielberg doesn't really touch on things that are too serious because his audience tends to be a younger to older crowd. It's for kids, so the context can't be too heavy, which the book really is, because Wade, which his gamer name in the book is Parzival, is very self-deprecating. He's very self-deprecating. He's very much a shut-in. He lives in the Oasis. They show him go to school in the book. talks about like hating it. He talks about like how the Oasis is his escape, the movie doesn't show you that. The movie jumps into this good-looking guy, who's not fat at all, and he's going for this contest, and it doesn't really give you the depth that I feel like the book gives you. The book is very 80s eccentric, like I said. So the puzzles in the book, you have to go through a number of puzzles in order to get, obviously, to the last. It's to see who's worthy. It's to see who knows James Halliday's brain, and that's Wade. Like, he knows 80s. He has this extensive playlist. He studies like so many games and books and movies, and he's constantly reading up. And I think that's something also that's missing from the movie, is how did he get to this point? How does he get all of this knowledge? And the book shows you just the puzzles, right? And it's Dungeons and Dragons, and it's Blade Runner, and it's Rush's 2112 album, which Rush is like an amazing band, by the way. Dungeons of Daggerah, Say Anything. It's for somebody that's like born in the 80s like me, or somebody that just loves that era. There's so many tidbits that go, oh my, wow, like, I know that book. I know that movie. And it really, like, encapsulates you and takes you into the mind of Parzival, of Wade. Fortunately, I feel like the movie lacks that, you know? It doesn't give you that build-up that the book does. And I feel like that's a shame. So it drops you right into the middle of the Oasis. It doesn't show you how he studied up on the 80s. It doesn't show you once he's in the Oasis, once he's like he becomes on number 1 on the list, the first one to solve the puzzle. It doesn't show you that in the book he gets sponsorships and commercials and endorsements, and this is how he pays for his lifestyle and more, like, better equipment, because Wade is a guy that's just in a trailer with hand-me-downs. He doesn't have money. So the movie bypasses that. And yeah, I feel like you're always gonna lose certain details, because how much can you fit into a movie that's an hour and a half, or your standard 2 hours? But I think it's those details that make you connect with the character, and they're a little lost. It's not 80s centric. They kind of be, but it's very mainstream 80s. So, like, the first challenge is King Kong. You see, like, nods to The Shining. One of the big puzzles is The Shining. That's not The Shining. It's not in the book. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and just mainstream things, which I feel like Steven Spielberg does a lot. And it's a shame. I feel like you lose a certain crowd. So I feel like that's why the movie wasn't as successful, I feel, as the book was. The book was very successful. The book was very successful also among men, because finally here's a topic that they want to hear about, right? Gaming and puzzles and fighting and all that stuff. So it lacks in that. Visually, the movie is stunning. The graphics, the colors, just the world that Steven Spielberg brings is always, like, amazing. Story-wise, it feels a little bit rushed. You meet all the characters that are in the book, like Artemis, which later on becomes a love interest of Parzival. In the book, he's obsessed with Artemis. Obsessed. They start a relationship. He only thinks about her. At some point, she remembers that she's his competition, and she wants to win this. Takes a little, I guess, break from him, breaks up with him, cuts off communication. and he spirals into a really big depression, and that blows in the book. It's a really daunting look into the life of somebody who's an introvert and then finds love and then loses love, and where his mind goes. That is not at all in the movie. I think if it was in the movie, it would totally be a different kind of movie. It would be very heavy. So maybe it was good to kind of take that out. Daito and Shoto are also characters in the book. They're not family. They play brothers in the game. In the book, the same. The relationship in the book is also much darker. There's a darker backstory. They start to climb the leaderboards along with Parsifal and Artemis, and they get like pointed out, and Shoto, unfortunately, in the book, gets murdered. Ooh. And it takes you out mentally, because this is supposed to be a light, like, situation, right? This is video games. He's out here getting murdered. So that also doesn't happen in the movie. And again, if these things were to be in the movie, don't get me wrong, I think it would have been very much darker. I think it would have needed to be a higher rating. It wouldn't be geared towards children, maybe late teens to adults. So I understand why I take those things out. I wish they would have kept in the puzzles though. H is another character from the book. Wade's best friend. Never have met in Oasis. They've met their avatars, so their avatars don't look like them, right? They can look like anything. Wade thinks H is the guy, has a deeper voice, all these things. Later, close to the end of the book, he finds out that H is a girl, who is black and who's heavy set and who's just hiding because she was afraid that nobody would be her friend if she showed what she really looked like. It didn't matter to Parsifal because they were the best of friends, and he also was fat, right? And he also was hiding with an avatar that didn't really look like what he looked like. So I wish they would have kept that kind of storyline going in the movie. They touch on it a little bit because she looks different, but they don't really touch on it too much. All in all, there's certain similarities, but I feel like the two are very, very separate. I don't know if you guys can notice, I'm wearing a shirt that my friend Sam got me for my birthday. It says the book was better than the movie, because I usually think that's what it is. The book is better than the movie. In this case, it is. Oh, shout out to Sam. Go follow him on IG. It's Salaz. And so, yeah, I think in this instance, for sure, the book is definitely, for me, at least, better than the movie. The movie's good, don't get me wrong. I like them and enjoy them both. I just think they're very different. And I enjoyed the depth and the story and the mindset that Wade is in going through all of this. Just the story of James Halliday and why he decided to do this this challenge for fortune and just part control of the Oasis. And it's a beautiful story. It's deep. It's not for somebody who's looking for something light. It's a pretty also long read. It wasn't a quick read. I usually get through books pretty quickly. This one took me a little longer. Maybe a couple of days or so. 4 or 5 days. The chapters are longer. Considering to other books, I usually get through them pretty quickly. So it's not something that you read and you're gonna be done with it quick. It's good for if you're on a commute, or if you're on a train, or anything like that. It's that works. You read little passages here and there. Definitely check them both out if you haven't. It's Ready Player One. The book is from 2011 by Ernest Cline, and the movie's also by the same name, Ready Player One, 2018, directed by Steven Spielberg. Spoiler alert from the beginning, because this book has been out for a while now, right? And I talked about major plot points. But, spoiler alert, there is a part 2. There is a book already out, Ready Player 2. There is a movie in the works by Steven Spielberg. Let's see how that goes. Let's see how the fans are receptive towards that. And hopefully, I don't know, hopefully they add more of the book into the movie. I wonder if it's a situation like Jurassic Park was, where Steven Spielberg adapted Jurassic Park and then paid Michael Crichton to do another book so that he can in turn do more movies. I wonder if that was the case here, or if Ernest Cline just had it in his mind to continue the book. So that would be an interesting tidbit to find out, and if I find out, I'll definitely let you guys know. Thank you guys. Oh my god, thank you for my watching. Thank you for being here with me and listening to my ranting and my first little video here with my makeshift setup. Definitely comment below, subscribe, follow me on IG. It's food, Flix, and flipping pages. Food _ Flix, FLIX _ and _ Flippin pages, FLIPPIN, no G. And follow me on there. Let's have discussions. Tell me if you felt the same way about this book. Tell me if you're anticipating the next movie. And leave your Instagram handles in the comments so that I can follow you back and see what book talks you have, or booktubes, or bookstagrams, or moviegrams, or TVgrams. And yeah, thank you for following me, and thank you for listening to my ranting and my first video. I'm so excited. This is gonna be the first of many. Actually, I mentioned Jurassic Park, so that's actually one of the books that I'm also gonna do a versus on, so stay tuned for that soon. And thank you. Don't forget, comment below, like, subscribe, share, and peace. Keep reading.